Hello there. Get ready to meet an incredibly attractive smartphone from Honor. Is what I would love to be able to say about this phone, but unfortunately, it's just not true. Now, I understand that attractiveness and beauty are obviously very subjective things, but I mean this is just not it. With this really ugly camera bump right here, not only does it lack originality, but it also introduces a couple more elements to make it even worse. Starting with the red wing right here. There's no special material used anywhere either to make it at least a little more appealing. But the good news is, that's almost all the bad things that there is to talk about with this phone. Because on top of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 that's the norm these days, it's packing not only 16 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, but also an absolutely gigantic 10,000 milliamp silicon carbon battery. And all of that paired with Honor's own E2 power chip, and of course the very impressive tiny little Ultra fan on the back is supposed to be able to give you hours and hours and hours of smooth gameplay. And obviously we're going to be putting that to the test very soon. Now, as for the Ultra fan, you get an option for it under settings with all sorts of adjustments for it. And that's what this little fan icon represents on the status bar. And you also get a quick settings tile for it for even easier management. And in terms of the display panel, this is the resolution that we're currently running at. And it's also an extremely bright panel, which is typical for Honor these days. It's almost blinding. Yeah, let's turn that back down real quick. It's hurting my eyes. But it comes with a twist, and this is yet another surprise that this phone comes with. And that's the absolutely crazy 185 Hz refresh rate, which I don't even know why anymore at this point, really. But I guess we'll find out more about that soon in our gaming test. For the stereo speakers, you get the same premium bass and 3D surround sound and all that the Magic 8 Pro comes with. And of course, expectedly, the speakers sound really, really good. And I'm serious, they make the back of the phone shake with the bass, same as on the Magic 8 Pro. And as for the haptics system, I really don't know what Honor has done here, because it's not like the vibration motor that they've used is incredibly expensive, but this phone right here is by far one of the most delightful ones to use when it comes to haptic feedback, at least in my opinion. It also does come with an AI/camera button on the side, with the same limited functionality as on the Magic 8 Pro, but it's no longer a touch button, it's an actual physical button that sounds very clicky and cheap, really. And that's what the power button and the volume rocker sound like too, to be honest. Also, right by the Ultra fan, we do get a triple camera setup. Nothing extraordinary though, with lots of AI intervention. And I mean, obviously this is not a photography-focused phone, but they still definitely do get the job done. Anyways, so now that all that's out of the way, it's only time for my little friends to step in at this point for an intensive round of 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme Stress Test. Let me just pop it open real quick, and then we'll be starting that, obviously, with a quick temperature check to establish our starting points. So it's going to be 24.5 or 6 on the front, and then 25.3 or 4 on the back, and slightly less on the camera bump thing. And as for the Ultra fan, it's currently set to smart mode, so it's not currently running, but I'm going to set it to manual mode just to sort of demonstrate it. Turn it up all the way. I'm not sure if you can hear it through the mic, but it's definitely making some noise here. There's also like a vent thing right here for it, so it's not just this. Let's see how effective it is, but again, I'm not going to set it to manual mode. I'm going to be keeping it on smart mode just for it to, kick in whenever necessary. Hopefully that's what it does. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so the benchmark just ended. You know how the saying goes, temperature before anything. The fan is running, by the way, if you can hear it. Anyways, it's going to be 39 or 40. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's going up pretty fast. It's probably the fan. Yeah, it's coming back down. And it's going to be less than 40 on the back. That's very impressive. We've never had this after a Wildlife Extreme Stress Test. So moving on to the scores. The fan is still running, by the way. Now, looking at those numbers, I have to say I'm disappointed. The Ultra fan kind of let me down. Anyways, 7100 for our best loop score, 4600 almost for our lowest loop score, which gives us 64.2% for stability. And in terms of the chart, here's how it looks. It's not a pretty chart really, lots of ups and downs here, a lot of fluctuations. which is strange really. When I think about it, it has to have something to do with the throttling, software-wise, because in terms of temperature, the fan did help a lot apparently, because like for instance with the OnePlus 15, we went over 50 degrees on the back, but this phone didn't even reach 40, which is really impressive, but for some weird reason that did not lead to a higher stability score. And then for battery, we went down from 92 to 83, so that's 9%. That's not bad at all. But then again, when you think about it, it's 10,000 milliamps. I believe it has to perform at least twice as good, but still, it's not bad. Especially considering the fact that this is under huge pressure, intensive pressure for 20 straight minutes, with a little ultra fan on the back. And also considering the fact that with normal usage, it shows an outstanding performance when it comes to battery. Now, just to satisfy my own curiosity, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys have also been thinking about this, I'm going to go for round 2, but this time, I'm going to do it on performance mode instead, just to see if it makes a difference. And with the ultra fan set to manual mode, and maybe not all the way up, but like, I assume this is like 80%. Yeah, let's do it like this and see if it makes a difference. So, let's do another temperature check. 33 on the front and 30 or 31, that's because of the airflow, on the back, and the fan is running, if you can hear it. Also, let me just try and, there it is. Alright, let's get right to it then. Here we go for round 2. Alright, so the benchmark just ended and the tables have turned outstandingly. Let's just do a quick temperature check. 44.3 on the front and 40 on the back with the fan still running. Alright, so let's just get back to normal. Alright, performance mode is off. Let's just switch the fan to smart mode as well. Now look at that. Now we're talking 6,900 for our best loop score and 5,800 for our lowest loop score, which gives us 84.1% for stability. Now look at that chart. This is a chart that I enjoy looking at. Extremely smooth, no bottlenecks, no fluctuations whatsoever. Now looking at the battery, we went down from 81 to 71, which is impressive this time. And all of this definitely strengthens the idea that I mentioned earlier, which is the ineffectiveness that we witnessed earlier was a software thing, not a fan thing. So thumbs up for that. So with this phone, as it appears, you'll be getting outstanding performance, amazing battery life, a really good display, decent speakers, and decent haptics, and hideous looks. So if you don't care a lot about how your phone looks, and are not big into photography, then this phone is definitely for you. So that's it for now. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see an emulation gaming test, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. Alright, I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.